For anyone wondering, I am using a 50% cool gray Prismacolor right now just to do the rough sketch. I'll probably lighten some of this up maybe before I do the drawing on top. Though it's not getting too dark and most of this won't really show up in the end. And then also let me know if the sound is okay. I think I'm a little further from the mic than I usually am. Just because of this setup, I needed a little more space. So hopefully the sound is okay. Also, we're sending the final files for the book off to the printers next week, I believe. But found we had one kind of floating page, one page that just needed something. So there is a section in the book called Winged Creatures. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. One page. I'll do a new drawing for it. All good. So that's what I'm doing. A winged creature who is tired out after fighting and slaying some kind of large beast. We could say it's a dragon, possibly, though I'd like to think she doesn't have any beef with dragons, but maybe we'll make it some kind of crazy demon dragon or something. Something that just doesn't look like it would ever be a nice creature. Because, you know, why would we want to kill dragons? Depending on which world we're in, I guess. Realistically. Yo, what's up? Careful, I'll ban you. How's it going, guys? Sorry, I don't have any fun little games for you guys to play. Right? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's like a demon dragon of some kind. The demon dragon of Fire Dragon Mountain. I used to watch the shit out of Lotus Wars when I was a kid because, you know, you could only watch Bakshi's Lord of the Rings so many times before it was just silly and ridiculous. So Lotus Wars is kind of the next best thing. And considerably better, even if some of the dubbing was rather poorly done. Realized my sharpener was so far away. Should have thought about that. I was sitting much closer to it earlier today. It's okay, I don't use a sharpener a whole lot, so it's all good. Ain't no thing. I know, right? And then all these youngsters think that fucking Warcraft started all of this stuff when they pretty much just stole every single design trait from somewhere else, mostly Warhammer, right? Warcraft was just like, dude, Warhammer is cool and the design is awesome. Let's make it a video game. So they did. And then all the kids think they started it. Nope. Even StarCraft was basically just ripping off like Warhammer 40k. So look at some of the creatures in there and you'll be like, wait, you mean Blizzard didn't invent the Zerg? What? They just renamed them? Alright. I had to be very strategic with the nudity in this one because, you know, Twitch, streaming. Right? Oh, Google. No, and it's true. I mean, I played the shit out of Warcraft 2. I loved that game. And then, of course, poor Warhammer they tried to make games, but it was a bit too late. You know? I mean, how many people do you think are gonna watch Dune and be like, dude, they're totally ripping off Star Wars, you know? And it'll just rile Autumn up. You'll get all pissed off. Yeah, no, the later Warhammer games, I never played them, but they looked cool. I mean, the cinematics were gorgeous. Alright, let's get some line work in here. I know. I mean, between Dune and Lord of the Rings, right? Like, Star Wars was already covered off on. He was like, oh wait, what if I mix the two? So it's Lord of the Rings in space. Yeah. Did you know that originally Luke Starkiller was gonna be a little person? I'm like, dude, obsessed with hobbits much? And then he goes and like makes Willow, which was still awesome. I loved Willow. Willow was great. But again, it was just him wishing he had done something that he didn't. A safe for work stream? I mean, no, I think I'm pretty sure I ended up selecting the mature whatever thing on Twitch at least. Oh. Dude, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. Like, especially right now, in the pandemic, computer problems are the worst because everything is either sold out or overpriced. It's so lame. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. I think just use Google Drive. Don't bother with physical hard drives. What is this, 2019? Come on. Gotta think about where I want the light to come from. I was originally gonna have it from somewhere to the right, but I feel like I don't wanna. Might need to go almost front lit because I don't want to obscure her face too much. I think we can get away with, do a little creative cheating. So we won't go quite directly front lit, but a little bit. I don't know that brush. Debating if I want her to basically just be like a... essentially just be like a winged elf, or do I kind of want a little more creaturey stuff going on, maybe. I don't know. can always add some stuff a little bit later if we want. I'm not gonna overdo it just yet. Yo, Mr. McInnes, how you doing? Good timing this time. We're just kind of at the beginning. Getting our pencils on here. Figure we've got a sketch project at work that we're doing pencils on, and today was my first time using pencils in literally like months, other than just doing some really rough graphite stuff for inks. It's a very weird thing. If you told me that that would happen last year, I would have been like, you're crazy. I'm never not using pencils. Sometimes the world is like, shut the fuck up. What are you gonna do? Roll with it and get back to the pencils when you can. Hello, Nick Jag. What is good? What's good? Drawing. Drawing is good. Drawing in pencils is real good. Drugs are bad. I don't do drugs. Sorry, Penny popped into my head and I just had to, once again, roll with it. Pencils are good. Watercolor is good. Oil paints are real good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much we really need to worry about paper per se. I mean, I think about it sometimes with pencils, you know, and I'm like, there are times that I go through a lot of these things, and I'm like, dude, I feel bad. Like, that's just wood with, you know, some kind of wax pigment inside, but meaning of all the industries that use paper, I don't really think that art is the worst. Plus, if you go for good paper, a lot of the good paper is cotton, rag paper. It's not like wood pulp. So, right, because you need a good pH level. You don't want it too acidic, or else it'll just start to yellow. So, you gotta not just do random shit and actually think about the design of these marks. How about that? Art is design, after all. Think about this lighting. I feel like most of her is gonna be in the light, which is cool, because we can just sort of expose a bit more for the lights and maybe keep those shadows a little bit more opaque and mysterious. It's never a bad way to go, especially when you're trying to strategically censor for Twitch. Then opaque shadows are your friend. I see. Yeah, honestly, like, granted, I'm just outside of Los Angeles, so even where it's easy to get stuff, I've had those times where I've run out of art supplies because I wasn't paying attention. And it's so frustrating when it's like, 11 at night or something, and you just really want to do this thing, and you thought you had the necessary materials, and you don't because you forgot to replenish. So I always, like, for certain things that I know I will go through eventually, I always stock up. Even if I'm down to like 5 large sheets of watercolor paper, I'm just like, nope, I'm getting more. Because you just never know. You never know. Yeah, I mean, part of the reason I was also doing a lot of digital, because I was doing a lot of digital even on my own stuff, not just for work, but part of the reason I was because I was focused a bit more on storytelling. And I love traditional for, like, process, and just for that kind of tactile response. But for actual storytelling, it's hard to beat digital, It's so much faster to get to that end result that you're looking for. and that was my goal, so it just made sense. But you know, I was just like really trying to get a bunch of stuff done, so then before I knew it, it was just like, wow, I have not done pencils in a while. And then like the couple of sketch projects that I had to work on, it was like just a few sketches, and it was just easier to just like, screw it, I'll just break out Procreate. You know? What kind of, were you streaming today, Shane? What kind of stuff were you talking about? Do you stream multiple days, or are you one day a week? Oh, nice. Yeah, the kind of a little more extreme Hindus, not in a bad way, just more pious, I guess, sort of. Right? Isn't it the Jains that'll like avoid even stepping on like a flower if they can? Man, between the Hindus, the Buddhists, and the Jains, you got some amazing like, I don't know if you can call it architecture, I guess. Right, the Ellora and Ajanta caves outside of Aurangabad. Those cave sites are phenomenal. Life-changing for me, but I'm half Indian, so it was a cultural thing. Nice. Yeah. Honestly, we could probably use a bit more of that in the world. Alright, so I'm kind of throwing these like spine things on because I always feel like wings need something up there, and I don't like to do always like claws and hooks. But if I do that, I feel like she needs some of that somewhere else. So we're definitely gonna have to add. These are like my go-to wings every time. Except that I think I might also want to add some feathers toward the edges, maybe. We'll see. Get so loose out there that I don't know. I don't know how well it would read if I do that, but it's a possibility. detail the crap out of. I should finish my sentences. I don't want to detail the crap out of everything at the edge of the image. Sorry, I'm like thinking and then instantly starting another thought in my head and not finishing the previous one. Yeah, basically like anything they can do to just not kill any living thing. Yeah, no, I agree, man. I completely agree. We should all just sit down over, you know, a nice pour of scotch and, you know, have a heart-to-heart. Hello, Shura. And welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yes, we are doing traditional and pencil, no less. The first time in a long time. So what happened was we're getting the final files together to send to the printer for my book. And just kind of like moving things around, we ended up with this one empty page in the section of winged creatures. And so I was like, no biggie. I'm getting back into pencils anyway, and I can do a winged creature today. No problem. So that's what we're doing. A winged creature. And you know, I was gonna go like more kind of full-on character designy with it, but I also wanted to kind of fit with the other stuff that's in the book. I didn't want it to be a random clothed character. That would just be weird. But she is clothed. Look, she's got wraps of some kind. It's okay, we don't have any Twitch mods in here. Oh no, dude, it's all good. I love, like, in the chat, I like having all kinds of conversations. Like, it doesn't have to just be art. I can talk art nonstop, but there are a whole lot of other things out in the world too, so I'm down. You know, what we don't like is when people start to try and push spiritual beliefs or politics. That's what we don't like. But just discussing it, dude, I'm all for it. All for it. But of course, people always feel free to ask any art questions you have as well. Please. Do not be afraid. And if the chat starts getting really busy, just at me with a question, just so it highlights for me. Because sometimes I get distracted and I forget to look up. Oh, cool. Yes, get your drawing on. Oh, are you doing Inktober? That's always a fun one. Shane, the last time, I mean, it's been a while now since I've been to India. Last time I was there was at the very end of 2005 and beginning of 2006, so it's definitely been a while. But I have family in Mumbai. So that's normally where we've gone, but my mom had really wanted to show us the Ellora and Ajanta caves, and I don't remember if she had gone there or not. I feel like she had never been, and it was a place that she had always wanted to go to. Either that or she'd gone, but it was when she was a kid, and so. So we took the long-ass bus ride from Mumbai to Aurangabad, and let me tell you, those buses are not made for someone that is 6'1". Not much in India is. But it was fun. We went there with two of my cousins, and had just an amazing time. We had stopped at one of the temples. You know, they have some of the really ancient holy temples that are, I think, where they have the. I'm totally blanking on the name, but it's the stones that are basically a depiction of Shiva's phallus, right? But I think the stones were supposed to have like been naturally formed that way, and I think there are only a certain amount of them, and they're in a few of these ancient temples. And so we'd gone to one of them because they were doing, it was the prayer time. So they were doing these mantras, and in the room where the stone is, normally only the, the monks, priests, however you want to call them, are allowed in that particular room. And for whatever reason, they brought me, my mom, and my two cousins into that room with them when they started to do the mantras. And I don't know why, because technically, like, we're not really allowed in there. But it was amazing being inside the room. Everyone else had to look through this, like, tiny little opening, basically. And the resonance, because it's all stone, and so just the way that the mantras were resonating was just phenomenal. It's the kind of place where, I felt it too. Autumn, you remember we walked randomly into that kind of small church in Paris, and it was the one church where we just kind of like felt like we had to whisper, and there was just something about it. Neither of us being religious, like whatever, but there was just something about that place. And then we did some research, and it turned out to be, it is the oldest church in Paris, and we didn't know that. We just were walking around and randomly walked in, and it was amazing. And it's one of those things where whether it's your belief or not, it's like, it's hard to deny when you go into a place where, I mean, for thousands of years, essentially, I think that place was from 1100 or something like that, or older, or it was 1100 years old or something. So for at least 1,000 years, people had just been pouring their souls into this place. And it, you know, I feel like some of that stuff you just can't deny it. There's a power there when you have that many people pouring their beliefs you know, into a place. And so then you go to a place that's even older, that's at least twice as old. You know, and it's, I mean, every day, multiple times a day, they're saying these mantras, and hundreds of people coming by. It's pretty amazing. Give this guy some kind of gnarly teeth, right? Because nothing says evil demon dragon like a fucking train wreck in the mouth. Although animals don't tend to have like really messed up teeth, because they actually eat a good natural diet. So maybe we'll just give him like really jagged kind of teeth that you would not want to be on the receiving end of. I don't know if there are any teeth you would want to be on the receiving end of, realistically. Anything larger than a kitten. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing place. I mean, just going somewhere that has that much history, you know, that, I mean, they had already kind of reached a pretty large civilization, and then almost like consciously disbanded it, right, because of the strain on the natural resources at the time in the Indus River Valley there, and right, it was the Indus. right? And that was like between 4 and 6,000 years ago or something like that. And then had kind of like disbanded the civilization into these smaller sort of villages and pods. And and just having that kind of foresight to say, like, look, we're too concentrated and we're getting too large for the natural resources to support us. Of course they didn't have all the tech that we have now, but would have probably destroyed everything if they had. Just kind of in that time of the Vedas, that kind of awakening is pretty fascinating. Let's figure out where. Damn. So I was originally gonna have. I always like to place the eye like way closer up front on dragons and stuff, but I think for these purposes, because realistically the cast shadow and stuff would end up covering exactly where I would want to put that eye. So let's get some grass and kind of hint at some kind of a natural environment here. So I think we'll move. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I still want to get it in there. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. My girlfriend has no desire to go to India. The thought freaks her out. She's heard too many horror stories. I mean, I whatever. I get it. If you didn't grow up on curry, then all of a sudden that's all you start to eat. It can wreak havoc on your digestive tract. Gonna be adding a new shirt to the shop soon. Is the one that we designed on stream some time back. It was just taking them forever to get the samples to me. I got the samples, I just need to kind of put them through the wash and just see how they change, because I'm testing out a couple of different types of shirts, so keep an eye out for that. You can is my keyboard here? Probably can't see it. I can't see it. Even though Nightbot will probably post this, but anyway, you can see the DL shop in there. If anyone wants some cool shirts, they're fun. I went for a look that's a little more, you know, kind of distressed. I don't like the super clean look on t-shirts. I feel like the inks get a little too heavy. Even with these, I tend to just hit them really quick with like a 400 grit sandpaper just to knock the tooth off the ink, because I'm picky like that. So we just have a couple of shirts up there now, and gonna have a new one very soon. Should go live next week. That'll be fun. And I'm trying to figure out another one I want to design. I haven't really had too much time to think about it. I'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll be cool too. I hope. Maybe not. Maybe it'll suck. Basically, I'm just kind of designing shirts that I really want to wear because I got tired of trying to find shirts that I really want to wear. I'd see shirts and I'd be like, oh, that would be better if they blah, blah, blah. And finally I was like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna make my own. And originally I was just gonna like make them for myself. And then I was like, you know what? I might as well make them available for other people too. Just in case they're into something like that. Alright, she stabbed the shit out of this thing, so we're gonna need a bit more blood rolling down. I'll probably end up adding a little bit of color to that. Let's get some tone on this, and then I'll come back and kind of fine-tune the line work. Do it. Get your noms on, bro. I appreciate you conversing with us. Let's get some tone on her. Shit, I kind of want to do a little bit of color maybe. So to do that, we'll just go really light with the 90%. This is 90% cool gray. But I'm going to bring some dark brown in just to give it more of a color base, to throw some color on. But this sort of just mutes or desats the dark brown a little bit, because it can get kind of saturated sometimes. So sometimes I like to mix the two for a scene like this that's maybe a little more somber. This is dark umber. Do I have the dark brown? Okay, good. Shit. And I promise anyone who hasn't seen this technique before, I'm not crazy. I'm not ruining my drawing. It'll all be really cool in the end. So I just have a shop towel here, those blue kind of clothy paper towels that you get at the hardware store, literally called shop towels. I use this, as you can see I've used this one before. And then I just have some Gamsol in this bottle, a squeeze bottle. Gamsol is natural mineral spirits that we commonly use for oil painting. It's basically a solvent to replace turpentine. But what it also does is it melts the wax in the colored pencils and allows us to get some nice smooth tone. Which we can then erase out for our lights. And by the way, I'm drawing on Dura-lene acetate. You can also do this on tracing paper or vellum. You just want a translucent paper. Do not get Dura-lar, at least not for this technique. You will not be happy with it. The Gamsol doesn't really dry properly, and then when you try to erase, it just doesn't work out well. Dura-lene, made by Seth Cole, is my surface of choice, but plenty of other people use tracing paper. I just don't like the tooth of tracing paper, but if you like, you know, more tooth on the paper you draw on, then tracing paper would be more your jam. Hello, Mauricio! How are you doing? Just deciding if I want to darken any. Okay, just keep looking at these rolls of tape on top of my sharpener, and like, do those things just gonna fall and then knock shit over. So I think I want to get a little more to work with for the shadows. Little more value to work with here. And it's the only thing, the dark brown doesn't go too dark. So then that's where either this, like this 90%, although realistically I probably could have used 90% warm gray. Maybe would have married with the brown a little bit better, but whatever. Whatevs. Make it work. And then you basically just let this Gamsol dry. It dries pretty quick. Usually just takes a couple minutes. You know, usually what I'll do is then just sort of pick some spots maybe where I want some hotter lights, right? Highlights and stuff. Because if you erase while the Gamsol is still wet, it'll erase right back to white like, really quickly. So, yeah. it's all just timing, but this stuff is like, it's so forgiving, right? Because like if I do something that I don't like here, I can just put some more Gamsol on my shop towel and just like rub it all down again, you know, and just sort of obliterate whatever I do and then kind of do it again. It's not a problem. Whoa, it looks really light on stream. Hang on, I gotta adjust that. It's trying to find the white right now, and we gotta help it. We gotta help our poor camera, because it doesn't know where the white is. I feel like I need more. Hang on, BRB. I feel like maybe what I should do here, hang on, I have a better idea. Just because like if I actually have something underneath, then it'll pick up the edges of the paper even underneath like that full stack. So really quick, luckily I'm working on top of a gesso board, I think. I hope. I know one of these is a gesso board. Yes. Yes. There's our white. That'll work. Then our poor camera doesn't have to struggle so much to try and find the white balance. So I used to work on a white drawing board, but I've since switched to working on a little, it's like a little canvas holder that sits on top of a tripod, and so I just have these couple of gesso boards stacked up, just so the bottom lip isn't as bad. There we go. There we go. That's more like what I'm seeing. Well, it's not Apple. It's just because I'm not using like a DSLR where I can lock the exposure and all that stuff. Mostly because mounting a DSLR up here is just annoying. Or I could pull out another tripod and mount it on that, and then it just takes up space, and I don't like it. Thanks, Restream. We've received 100 messages today. Wait, really? It has a command where I can, like, tweet that? Like, hey, Twitter! I got 100 messages on my restream chat today. Doesn't that make me cool? Whatever. Alright, so first things first. Let's get back to this after those minor technical difficulties. Was I covering that with my hat? You guys can't see. Only I can see. So I just want to get a bit of her silhouette going. First things first. Especially because she's lit like almost from the front. So I want, you know, those edges that are currently on the right, they will be darker. So I just want to lighten the background up a little bit to let those edges kind of contrast a bit more. And I'm just going softly with the kneaded eraser. I'm not trying to erase out too much. I'll use the pink pearl, the white pearl, and the little like mono zero and stuff when I want to get closer to white. Trying to think of local values and colors. I think I want the wings to be a little like darker than her skin. But we do want some kind of light indication. I'll do some of that with more detail. I should so be doing another little watercolor face tonight, but for that coaster show. But I think I'll just have to do that tomorrow morning as like my warm-up or something. Because he needs that shit tomorrow. But this also needs to get done, and I just didn't feel like doing the coaster tonight. So I'll use my kneaded eraser. This is just to kind of very loosely get some of the light tones in. I'm gonna use other erasers to really like fine tune them and get a bit more rendering in. But this one is just good for you know, just getting that kind of initial kind of value grouping composition in. Greetings, Emmanuel, from Costa Rica. I'd like to go there sometime. And yeah, it's a fun technique. It's just kind of like, it's relatively quick, pretty forgiving. I mean, you know, if you do this on tracing paper, like I'm working on acetate, so it's basically plastic. I can erase and erase and erase and it's not going to damage the paper. You can damage it if you accidentally crease it or something, but it's not like tracing paper where tracing paper is paper, and if you start erasing too much, you'll start to chew up the paper, right? But this kind of technique won't harm it. It's more if you keep messing up and you keep digging into, erase it all out. That's what'll start to really mess it up. Alright, so now I'm using a white pearl, right? It's just the white version of the pink pearl. It's a little softer. I'll use both of these. The pink pearl I tend to use more for like really erasing back to white. This one is just nice to kind of get a bit of rendering in. Oh, thanks, Mauricio. No, I always, like, even as a teenager, I would hang out with my friends in coffee shops. I was the only kind of artist of the group, but so we'd all be hanging out and talking, and I would be drawing, and yeah. So I don't know, like, it's never really bothered me that much, but it's also, just through mileage, I think you kind of you get used to sort of working with some different parts of your brain. The way that I tend to draw, I feel like after my initial rough, my block in, which takes a lot more of my kind of conscious brain, because I'm really trying to think through compositional problems, posing problems, all that stuff, lighting, and just trying to think through that in my head on a more conscious level. But once I have that, a lot of what I do tends to be a bit more subconscious. Like, I trust a lot in my muscle memory and letting my subconscious brain do more work because it knows more than my conscious brain does. And that's a sort of like, I know it sounds like kind of magical and stuff, but I think that's what a lot of art is. It's letting the subconscious do the work, and that's that muscle memory, right? Where we just repeat stuff over and over and over, and then you can, it sort of ingrains itself in you, and that's what it takes to go to the subconscious, right? Because the conscious mind can only process like hundreds to maybe low thousands of processes a second, which is a lot, except that if you compare it to the subconscious, which can actually process millions of processes a second, it doesn't really hold a candle. And so if you can just kind of like work stuff into muscle memory, you don't have to consciously think about it as much. Now, that being said, if I were doing this off stream, I would probably end up with a better image, a stronger image, would be my guess. But I don't know. Like, I think there's also a benefit to being just a little distracted so that you don't overthink everything, right? Because that can happen. If you're just sitting there by yourself and you have no distractions of any kind, and music can be a distraction, right? But if you're just sitting there in like silence, you can very, very easily overthink stuff, and you'll just run yourself in circles. So we don't want to do that. We want this stuff to be fluid and relatively painless, though if it is painful, it just means you're pushing yourself and hopefully you're learning something. So nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, for me at least, like once I'm past a certain point in the drawing, I don't really have to sit there and ponder every single movement, unless like I mess something up and then maybe I have to think about like, okay, how do I fix this? You know, but so far we're doing okay. We are doing okay. Alright, let's bring in our little Mono Zero. This is the Tombow Mono Zero eraser. It's just a white plasticine eraser, but it has that nice fine point on it, which allows us to get a little more detail going. I do want to also get some color. When I add color to this stuff, I always I do it pretty sparingly. I treat it more like a limited palette. Nice thing is that this base tone just kind of like unifies it. So it's one of the reasons I don't go too heavy when I do add color. And you'll see, like, I'll keep it pretty light. Yeah. Coffitivity, it's still up. Oh yeah, thanks dude. That is one thing, I will get preoccupied while drawing and will forget to hydrate. Yeah, Coffitivity now, they've added, like, last time I looked, they added like regional coffee shops or something. I guess coffee shops in different regions have different kinds of sounds or something. So I thought that was kind of fun. I think a bunch of them though, like you have to pay for a membership to access, but they still have some that you can do without paying. They also have a phone app. For anyone that doesn't know, Coffitivity, it was basically in the early days of people starting to work from home. This is way pre-pandemic, mind you. It was just ambient noise recorded in coffee shops, you know, because they did find that people were able to focus on what they were doing, which is why so many people went to coffee shops to get work done, right? Because of that white noise, just enough distraction to basically make it so you don't get bored and you're more productive and all that. Yeah, so when I was freelancing and still working from home at that point, I used to actually have that playing quite a bit because I'd be working on NDA stuff, so I couldn't go work at a coffee shop, even though I really wanted to, but you know, I wasn't allowed to show that stuff at a coffee shop. So I'm just using this eraser to get my edges, my harder edges. and little highlights. It does take some practice to kind of get the touch just right, you know, like when to just kind of let the weight of your hand and the eraser do the work, and when to actually push in to erase out more, and just getting that fine-tuned control. So, just FYI, all this shit just takes practice. Discord. Autumn, you can also, I think you can just do the exclamation point Discord, and it should bring up the Discord link. Just FYI, I should give you all the links that you can do. True. There is an open invite, though. But yes, we do like a personal touch here, don't we? Sometimes too personal. Wait, what? Sometimes just these little details, you know, just giving some of these things a bit of dimension, like these wraps, you know, like the way that they will kind of press into the skin a bit. I think it was Harvey Dunn that said something about like one moment of authenticity in an illustration will make people forgive everything else, or something like that. It's something around those lines. Doing well, Vegor. How are you doing? Oh, it's not final yet, but we're in kind of some of the little details, but I've still got to throw a little bit of color on and then flip it back to the front and sort of do some final line work. So we got a little bit still. I mean, yeah, whatever. That stuff doesn't take that long. We'll make it last. If I do wrap up fairly somewhat quick, then I might at least just draw the face on the other coaster, even though I won't paint it on stream, but I might draw it at least. if I can think of what the hell to draw. I keep oscillating. Another reason I didn't want to work on it tonight. Plus, I was just in a pencil mood. What are you gonna do? And I gotta prioritize, right? My book. Sorry, Matt. My book is more important than the little group gallery show. Not that it's not important, because I agreed to do it, so that is important. If you agree to do something and someone is planning around that, you gotta do it. You gots to do it. But it's fine. It'll be a good way to kind of warm up in the morning. I always tend to work this in 3 stages, essentially. So I'll do my drawing on the front, I do the tone on the back, but then I kind of leave the really final, detailed line work to the end, because a lot of the stuff, once you throw the tone on, a lot of the stuff gets taken care of, and if you put all that detail on the front in the beginning because you're thinking like, oh, I need this here, half the time it ends up that like you either don't see it very much at the end, or it just ends up being like too much and you didn't need it. So I prefer to leave those choices to the end because you know, almost every time it ends up being less work than what I thought, you know. Alright, I wanted to bring the shadow of her spear thing. And basically, if we can make things less work for ourselves, it's a good thing. I know you like your line work, dude. I know, Vagor, it's funny because like I love those characters and I really want to do something with them. I just don't. I have an idea for the characters and I have a very, very vague idea for the world and the types of stories they would tackle, but I don't have any concrete story ideas. Where I have other stories where I do have very concrete ideas that need to be developed. So I'm like, all right, I love those girls, but it's not far enough along for me to take time from other stuff and tackle them yet. But we will, because I do like them. And I appreciate that, thank you. They're a fun group. What was I? Oh yeah. It's like I got the mono zero out for a reason. the reason I'm doing this one right now, Vegor, is because we ended up with one extra page in the book, and we're sending the final files off to the printers next week. So, and we had one extra page in the winged creatures section. So I was like, no, it's cool. I could probably scrounge one up somewhere that didn't make it into the book, but I'd rather just do a new one. You know, why not? So that's why we're doing this today, because just gotta do it and get it done. Realistically, her wing would probably be casting a shadow on her, but oh well. We're not gonna do that because then we'd have nothing to draw. Like I said, it's our world. We can cheat the lighting as we like. As long as we don't look at it and say, wait a second, that looks wrong, right? If it doesn't look wrong, it's right. That's what I say. Let's get a little bit of, it's kind of like sort of busy detail on texture detail. Not busy detail, texture detail. On our dead beast. Alright, let's get a little bit of color. I'm not gonna do red hair this time. I don't know what color hair I will do, but could go crazy with it, but I'm not gonna. Sort of hint it. I'm just using some indigo blue here because it's not a very overpowering color. But I just want to push her hair cooler to sort of hint at it maybe being black or something like that, you know. And that's kind of how I treat this when I do add any kind of color to these. All I'm really doing is nudging the colors one way or the other. You know, I don't tend to go too crazy. You know, when I've done like stuff for Mermaid in the past, I'll have fun with some more saturated colors, but I'm still pretty conscious of where I really push them and how hard I push the color. So we do that, and then, you know, as we add some warms, then that'll help to kind of create some separation, right? Between the, are these even like coming up on there? A little bit. A little bit. Aw, thanks. Sant V. Schreiber. Appreciate that. I don't know. There are probably a few things I've gotten some mastership over, and then most things I just always feel like, oh, I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that. So yeah. Subtle color. Is that even like showing up at all? Kind of, maybe. So subtle you can't even see it. I can see it though. I think you guys can probably see a slight temperature shift. but I don't go opaque. I'm using Faber-Castells, by the way, for the colors because I think they have a way better color selection than Prismacolors, and pretty much all their pencils are archival, right? The polychromos. Oh, right on, Paraguay. Crazy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm glad I could be of some inspiration. Yeah, the polychromos are way more archival than Prismacolors. Prismacolor has some archival colors, but in like their set of, what do they have, a 48 set or something like that? I don't know, do they have a 60 set? No, they have a 72. I think it was a 72. I want to say like half of them, or maybe 2/3 were fairly archival. But they just had a bunch of weird colors that I would never use. Whereas in a set of 60 polychromos, I think there are like maybe 2 colors that aren't very archival. The rest are all like very archival. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of what color I want to put on the wings. Shit, I think we should give her some skin markings. I think that's what we gotta do. And so then we can carry those out to the wings. What color is this? Middle cadmium. Alright. Maybe we'll have it be more on the appendages. I don't really want to get it too busy. I like what's happening here, and I feel like it would be a shame to cover it up. just want to add a little bit of heat to some of the like midtones, just to punch those up a bit more. Especially because once I flip this back over, all this, any color I add on this side is gonna get pretty muted. So, you know, I'll end up adding a bit more on the front as well. It almost acts like a multiply layer in that regard. When I add stuff on the front. This one, scarlet, deep scarlet red. I think that should work. I want the blood to be fairly dark. Blood. So on the other side, the black will really darken this down. But I am kind of feeling like I want some other color in here. We're gonna get a couple other. I need some yellows and greens in here. It feels just a little too monochromatic for me. So I just want. Even though we have that little bit of blue, but I feel like I need more. I need more. Is this ochre? Something? Naples, dark Naples ochre. Sounds like a wing color to me. Just subtle. You know me. Like my subtle colors. Just starts to give it a bit more of a full palette kind of a look, even though it is fairly limited. I mean, it's a very limited palette. You can probably count the amount of colors I use on 7 fingers. I don't know how many fingers. Come hither, olive green. And I just want to like get a little bit. I don't want the whole dragon to be green. More like maybe it has a little bit of green coloring somewhere. Again, I don't want to go crazy with it. It's just nudging the colors around. And it gives us a complementary color to like the rust markings on her, and it just pushes them apart a little bit. So whatever we can do, right? Limited resources at our disposal. So we do what we can. We do what we must. Oh, right on. That's cool, Vagor. I'm glad. Yeah, from a structural standpoint, I imagine it's got to be, fairly interesting. Sometimes they kind of break things down. Get some. Well, I guess we can just use dark brown. I just wanted to darken the handle of the spear. It'd be kind of cool. Maybe we should. Do I have a good color for that? What is this? My burnt ochre. I was thinking originally I was gonna do kind of a, I don't know, iron or steel sort of weapon, but I'm thinking more bronze would be cooler. Some other kind of, who knows what kind of metal they use. All right, let's flip this back over. A little bit of detail work on the front. You can see the colors definitely get more muted on this side and the line work pops out, right? But it's nice because then you really get to choose alright, so where do I want to punch up that color? Because you can still see the color, but so this is kind of the only time in the process you'll see me hold the pencil like this, when I'm getting the more precise kind of fine lines. Not so much precise, but just those thinner. I mean, they are precise, but my lines are always precise. But I'm not going for a variety of line weight when I'm at this phase. I don't have a dishwasher. I am my own dishwasher. When I run out of a color, luckily, I can order individual colors off of dickflick.com. So I don't worry terribly about that. It's funny because I often talk about and think about how much I would love to move to another country, namely the French countryside. But then every now and then I think about, like, wait, would I be able to get everything I need there? I mean, you know, it's not like out in the middle of nowhere or anything, but I'm pretty sure same day Amazon delivery is not available there. And I would miss that. Granted, that's not available here right now either, but next day is. Guess I would just have to plan accordingly and stock up on shit even more. But honestly, I mean, with how little color I put on here, like, I'm not pushing really hard. Man, these things last forever. I have yet to replace any of them, actually. And I've had this particular set of pencils for a while. The one at work got more use, but even that one, I never, still didn't run out of anything. So, whereas black pencils, on the other hand, I've had days where I went through a couple of them in one day. Some lost edges in there, that's always a good thing. Bring a little bit more color into some of these areas. The frosty purple, I am using the X-Acto Magnum is the sharpener that I use. So that's where these nice long points come from. That's the one I use. Autumn has a different one that he prefers. Autumn, the one that you like, is that one still in production? I know the X-Acto Magnum is. That's a great sharpener. Gives me a great points on the pencil, and it's durable. It's a heavy-duty sharpener. It lasts a long time. You know, I don't think I've had one last less than 3 or 4 years, and that was basically getting like all day use, day after day after day. So, you know, they last. Oh shit, you know what I wanted to do? We're gonna gonna have to go back to the other side for a hot minute. I feel like if she gets into battles, she needs some scars. Nothing else for it. Just like hints, you know? It's that lighter skin. Like she's been through some fights and I'm a sucker for that shit. Little things, right? I'm not really a big fan of putting like holes in wings. Like it's kind of weird to me. Though I have given it a little bit of thought. Like, okay, they do battle. They're bound to get some holes in their wings. Do they have a way to patch that up? You know? Is it a membrane that they can just kind of like, can they suture it and it'll heal or something? I don't know. Because that would suck if they get a hole and then that's it. They've got a hole in their wing for the rest of their life. Right? Because if they did ever go into battle, then the wings are a pretty damn large target. And if they can't heal somehow, well, I just would never go into battle. Alright. Alright, there's our little scars. Little something, something. What was I gonna do before I remembered the scars? We were doing color. Color! And some scotch. Drink responsibly. I want, on the front, I want a little different. This might be a little cool for blood, but whatever. I think that can work. We can always mix a couple colors. We can bring a little bit of hotter red into this at some point, too. If I want. We'll see. I don't know if it needs it, really. I don't think it does. Let's not overthink it. Kind of, like, not about getting a little bit of blood on her, but in a piece like this, the only reason I wouldn't do that is because I feel like it can get finicky that way. Like the detail can get kind of finicky unless you really take the time to kind of spell it out a bit more. And I don't want to get finicky. Yes, Vagor, it is going in a book. The Kickstarter is already done, but you can pre-order on the Corette website. So, if we do, where's my keyboard here? And unfortunately, the I believe at the top of that link tree, you'll see the pre-order for the book. and so you can pre-order the book through Corette. Does the Kickstarter have the pre-order info on it, Autumn? I haven't checked. On the link tree. Okay, cool. I don't think there's an original art tier or anything like that on the pre-order, but if there is an original that you're interested in, you can always hit me up and we can discuss. I wanted to get a bit of aging on these teeth because they look like they would not be like pristine white or anything. So yeah, this is going in the book because as we're getting the final print files together, we ended up with an extra page in the winged creatures section. So I decided, hey, that's a good time to draw another winged creature, which I have not done in a little while, it feels. Well, that's not true. I did a digital painting, actually, for a print that was on Kickstarter with the book. Yeah, we did some Kickstarter exclusive prints that were pretty rad. I'm bummed for anyone that missed them. Some hotter kind of highlights in here somewhere, but I don't feel like it needs much. Don't want to overdo it. But this is sometimes a good opportunity to just like kind of spell out the musculature a little more, or any kind of little forms, you know. And we'll get closer in on this too, so you guys can kind of check out the details a bit more. Here, let's as I work on the face a little bit, let's get in there. Some kind of a eye color, I think. Just run with the red from the skin markings. How about that? Damn, I'm not sure who's the good guy and who's the bad guy now. I'm okay with that though. It's all a matter of perspective, right? Just amp up the skin markings a little bit here. Sorry, gonna go off camera for just a second. Down her arm and leg. Let's do. I don't think that's the right color for it. I don't know if I have a good color for it. I wanted to add some heat right at the edge of the cast shadows. So we tend to get that sort of electric edge in real life. But by your nose, I think it might be a little too much. So we'll tone that back. Gotta be careful with putting any kind of marks around the bottom of the nose on women, right? You don't want it to look like a mustache or something. Or maybe you do. Here we do not judge. You want a mustached woman? Draw a mustached woman. Alright, so one last thing that I tend to do is I'll use a 70% cool gray, and this is almost the only thing I tend to use it for most of the time, and it's just to unify and kind of smooth out the shadows, and it just gives me a stronger lighting design, right? And that's all I'm looking for with this. So we'll bring it back out a little bit. We don't need to go out all the way, so we can still see a little bit of detail in here. But yeah, this just basically allows me to kind of treat the shadows as a shadow shape, right? And no longer just going like form to form, but really looking at the design, the graphic design of the whole image. And thinking about how I want this shadow shape to move through the whole image. Give us a little bit stronger kind of a statement, I guess, in terms of the lighting. And because it's 70%, it's never going to go as dark as the black lines. If you push really hard, it'll get fairly opaque, and it can kind of fade out the black lines a little bit, which can be fun if you want that. But and there was one last thing I was going to do, and I'm totally blanking on it. But I know I'm gonna kick myself if I don't remember. I really don't remember. Oh boy. Alright. Shit, what was I gonna do? Yes, I picked up that 70%. I was in my head. I was like, don't forget to do the thing. The one thing that'll make it super awesome. It's fine. We can noodle a little bit, and then hopefully we'll remember. Just don't over noodle it. You don't want to do that. Damn it. Dang it. I want to know what the hell I was going to do. Just as a way to sort of hint at and this is just so that we don't have like a completely flat background. This is just abstract shit. I don't even know if it comes up on there. Does it? Sort of. Not really. Yeah. Thinking of what the hell I was gonna do. I do want to just kind of reinforce some of these cast shadows. Just because I don't always like sit there and worry a ton about like core shadows and all that stuff, so it helps to just reinforce some of the harder edged shadows a bit. Act star, that's a good question. It depends on what you're trying to do with them. I mean, the way that I use them, I need a translucent paper. So I'm using Dura-lene acetate made by Seth Cole. It's super smooth. It's like buttery smooth. But then I have a friend that prefers working on tracing paper with this stuff, with the same technique. And you know, tracing paper has a lot more tooth than this stuff does. So it all kind of depends on what you're wanting to do with it. You know, I don't think it really matters as far as the tooth. That's purely based on your preference. With these, I prefer not having that tooth on the paper. But if you're cool with it, then awesome. And to be honest, I haven't really... I mean, it's been a long time since I messed with Prismacolors on anything other than tracing paper or Dura-lene. So I don't know what most people do. I feel like a lot of people tend to use pastel papers when they use these. That would be my guess, but I'm not totally positive about that. I'm debating if I want to give the shadows a little bit of a color. It'd be kind of cool and add a little bit of air and atmosphere to them. Possibly. It's something I might do with like a digital painting. I feel like that could be kind of fun. Bring in like a light, cool color. Let's see. I don't know if it'll do much. I doubt it'll show up on the stream. I feel like it gives it just a little bit of depth in person. And I dig it. I dig it. Word. Alright. Well, I feel like since I still don't remember what the hell I was gonna do, it can't be that important, right? I'm sitting here doing the thing with the thing. Not thinking of it, so oh well. I feel like this is kind of done. Since I'm not really seeing anything that's like jumping out at me as needing to be fixed, right? As Joseph Spuckfitch says, if you're not sure definitively what else to do, you're done. So, I feel like that's always a good little tidbit to remember and live by a bit so we don't overwork shit. I think we're gonna call it done. Thanks for the host, Autumn. Wait. Yeah, you can't erase Prismas on regular paper, whereas you can erase them on this, so that's why we tend to use this or tracing paper, because you can erase it. And you know, for what we do at work, like if we're working on a sketch presentation for, you know, movie posters or whatever, because that's what we do for work, Autumn and I, Arthur Kell and myself, you know, we need to be able to change stuff based on feedback from art directors or clients or whatever, so we have to be able to erase. But if you have the ability to like do a lot of pre-planning and stuff, and erasing isn't as much of an issue, then, you know, normal paper, like pastel paper or something, would work. But if you do want to erase, then all of a sudden your options become very, very limited as far as what kind of paper you can work on. So. I think we're done. I don't really see what else I need to do, or like what else I would do that would make it better at this point. So I think we're gonna call it on this one. Oh, right as band jumps on. And Yo-Yo Settlement. Hello. Unless you were watching the whole time, Yo-Yo. And thank you. Let's get the full image in here, more or less. So that's where we've ended up. And I feel pretty good about it. I like how she turned out. My strange winged elf. Ah. We're just wrapping up. But if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I think we might do a raid. Who's doing stuff? Joby looks like he's doing some cool stuff. Oh, art auction. Might have to look into how to do some kind of auction stream. That would be kind of fun. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it. We're gonna raid Joby for anyone on Twitch. Anyone on YouTube, thank you so much for joining. Super appreciate it. And we will see you Saturday. I will be back on. Tomorrow evening, I believe Arthur Kell streams. So y'all should jump onto his stream tomorrow evening. I believe it's 7 p.m., right, Autumn? And then I'll be back on Saturday, usually in the afternoon, around 1:30. And YouTubers, thank you. We are now rating Joby. Give him a follow and say hi. Peace.